If you are struggling with your confidence right now and you're waiting to be ready for the thing before you actually do it, then you're exactly right place. Because today I'm talking to Suzi Payton and she's going to give you some habits so that you can stop all that waiting and build that confidence. So, hello, Suzi, and I'm just going to hand straight over to you.
Hi, Julie. Yep, thank you very much. So, yes, stop waiting to be ready. This is the key for today. So, I'm going to talk about three habits that actually build confidence rather than just waiting and waiting for that right moment. So, habit number one, the habit of staying present, even though your brain wants to run away and take you with it, because otherwise that would be a bit weird. So this can be on sales calls, um, or even in the middle of a talk. I'm a professional speaker, and this happens to me all of the time. My brain goes blank. And what I've learned to do over the years is years ago, I would have felt embarrassed, ashamed, I would have ruminated. Um, all evening, oh, how could I do that? What's wrong with me? And no, I've stopped all of that, getting involved with my inner critic, let's say. So I've taken control of my inner critic. So being present can really help me in those situations. So when it happens, first of all, I acknowledge it and own it. And then I'm honest about it. So I've ADHD, and I typically say something like, okay, classic ADHD moment. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. And this is on stages in front of, quite a lot of people sometimes. And the response is always lovely. People kind of probably thinking, thank goodness that's not me, but they kind of giggle with me and then they tell me where I was. So acknowledge it, own it. Um, if it happens again, that's when things can get a bit panicky. So I have to come back into my body and feel my feet on the ground and take a breath or two, which has taken me a long time to master that because I tend to think I've got to rush through everything. But of course, taking a breath helps everyone. So that's kind of habit number one, coming back to the present moment rather than the brain saying, "Oh no, this is happening. They're going to think I'm silly." Back to the present moment, and it's easier to do than most people think, I think, because as soon as you thought, hold on, back to the present moment, you've broken the spell and you are actually back in the present moment. So I wish I knew years ago how easy it was to get back into it. It's not as easy to stay there, is it? Of course, we have to keep bringing ourselves back, but it becomes more natural then. So that's habit number one. Habit number two is saying yes before you feel ready. Because I don't know about you, used to be and can still be an excellent procrastinator. And I'll be saying, well, I'm not quite ready yet. I'll launch that Facebook course. I'll launch that membership when I'm ready. And I've now caught myself doing that. And it's like I launched the group. The I'm a recovering perfectionist. I wasn't very impressed with my graphics on the group, and that almost stopped me, the Facebook banner, because I just couldn't get it right. And it stopped me. And I thought, no, this is the stuff I'm talking about. So I've made the group. Look, the group isn't about the banner, is it? It's about me and the people in it. So sometimes it's letting go of perfection, which I'll talk about in a moment, and just doing the thing. Once I'd done it, I felt this immense, well, sense of excitement, which of course then there's some dopamine there. And then that's building the confidence. It's like now I've got this, it's a new group. I've had groups before, but this one is special. Um, so it's doing stuff before you feel ready. And that can be what I've just talked about. That can be a collaboration. That can be applying for a TED talk. That can be applying for a speaker slot at another event. Whatever the thing is, I say just do it and work it out as you go along, which I kind of have an advantage there with ADHD. I've always kind of said yes to things and then worked it out as I've gone along. So, but not always, especially when perfectionism tries to sabotage me. So that's the one before you feel ready. And a few things you can do is practice one small yes, one small thing each day, just to build that confidence muscle, because confidence doesn't just appear, does it? It has to be built. So, and we have to do it at our own pace. There's no good saying just be consistent, just do this, just speak up, because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, that's going to be very hard and feel very wrong. So that's the habit number two, which brings me to habit number three, letting things be messy instead of perfect. So, perfectionism, as I've just said, for me, it kind of created a whole load of problems in my life, from not speaking up through fear of sounding silly, through not showing up in my business because, if I'm doing a post on social media, sometimes I still get stuck in a loop of, oh, it's not quite right, it's not quite good enough. And then I can feel when it's happening because I'm all tense and I'm all frustrated. Like, hold on, hold on, back into the body. Let's get present again. What's stopping me here? It's perfectionism trying to run the show. So it's about posting that post, even though it's not perfect, because of course there is no such thing as perfection anyway. It's an illusion. But good enough. This post is good enough. I'm going to post it. And being okay with whatever the outcome is, whether people like it, whether people don't like it. I mean, don't press like or comment. That's if we can let go of those outcomes, being focused on those outcomes, we're a lot more happy and a lot more confident in my experience. Um, so yeah, being okay with good enough and being okay with discomfort. So I use intentions a lot. So if that's something I'm struggling with, I will use that as an intention. I am okay with discomfort. And then I press send. It's not my best work, but I'm okay with that. Doesn't have to be your best work all of the time. And doing comedy improv, which is something I do within my coaching, as well as for performance purposes. But I teach people the skills of improv for that reason, to let go of perfection and be okay with discomfort. Because of course, with improv, as you know, Julie, you're making stuff up on the spot and you're kind of helping each other along the way. So you never know what's coming next in improv. So it's taking those principles of improv and being okay with whatever happens. Um, Being boundaried as well, of course, that comes into it. And saying yes more. So, an opportunity comes your way, you think that sounds good, then the inner critic takes over. Oh, don't do that. You're not ready for that. Oh no, don't do it yet. You're like, hey, inner critic, do you know what? I'm going to do this and we are going to be okay. And then the inner critic gets quieter and goes, oh, okay, because you're taking control. And you can treat it as a friend. I would always say treat it as a friend, even though it says horrible things to us, because really it's a protector, isn't it? It's helping us, trying to help us by keeping us small and not growing in confidence. Well, that's not helping us,
No.
even though it wants to. So, yeah, being friends with your inner critic, setting those intentions. I'm okay with discomfort. Um, and yeah, not hiding behind a mask, a polished mask, which many of us neurodivergent people uh, don't know we're doing as we grow up, but we do hide behind a mask, and most, probably all humans do it to some extent, but for neurodivergent people, they're doing it more, covering up their true selves, and people want to buy from people that are their true selves and authentic and a bit messy in that way, not perfect. If I come across a salesperson, a business owner that's really polished, really perfect, really scripted, for me, I'm just like repelled. So when people can be their true, messy, authentic selves, that is, for me, that is gold. And the way to do that is to say yes when you're not ready, to go for those opportunities, even though your inner critic screaming at you that it's the worst idea in the world. And and with that, for sales calls, for example, they're not a script. It's not like I've got to say this, this, and this. If it's a conversation, you know, it's so much more natural. And of course, it's going to be they're going to buy from you or not, So being your true authentic self is for me has been a game changer after years of masking. So that's what I'm here for, helping people be their true selves.
Oh my goodness, Susie, I can so relate to what you're saying. And I too used to hide behind a mask. And I think it's so, so important that we embrace who we are. Because at the end of the day, if we don't, it leaves us feeling unhappy and potentially unhealthy as well, because we might have habits that to kind of mask that aren't healthy because we don't feel good enough. That was certainly my
Yeah,
experience. But what you're saying is so, so important to really, to be unapologetically ourselves and to do the best job that we can. And also, what you said about being present, I think that's where the joy is in life when we're in the present moment. And that's where we'll be open to solutions and open to all sorts of things. So
yeah,
it's so, so invaluable. So many things in what you've said, Susie. I love what you said. You talked a couple of times about getting into your body. Would you say you do that by feeling your feet on the ground? And is that the way you approach it? Is that the quick way to kind of get out of your head and
yeah. If I'm on a stage, for example, giving a talk, that's kind of a more subtle way. Saying that I'm anything but subtle. I'm a speaker and comedian, so any opportunity to be silly, I will. So in fact, I've just had a thought based on what you've said. Next time I feel it happening, I'm just going to stand there and shake my arms, shake my body, and say, "Look, everyone, this is what's happening." So like educating in real time as well. But I think the breath is the big thing for me because I can forget to breathe and then I'm all up in my chest. So taking that moment to breathe into my diaphragm and breathe out slowly um, is is what helps me.
Yeah, and they are simple things, but we often forget to do those things. And it's really about doing them consistently in order to live our best life, isn't it? Whatever that is.
Yeah,
And I think just kind of acknowledging the stuff that's difficult, and being human is really something that people are looking for. People are a little bit fed up, I think, with fake and this sort of idea of perfect, which, as you say, absolutely does not
yeah,
exist anyway. So I think being ourselves is really what people want to see. And if they're going, we're either their person or we're not. And
yeah,
either way, it's fine, isn't it? But at least then we don't compromise a part of ourselves by trying
yeah,
to fit in and please other people, because actually we'll never please everybody. And why would we want to? There is absolutely no need. Not everyone pleases us, so it's completely unrealistic,
no.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
And when what it leads to when you're masking yourself, like unhealthy habits as well,
Yeah.
but also burnout, because if you're acting a role your whole
Yeah.
life, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So, there's so many reasons to be yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if we're going to try and be someone else, we're going to be a poor second, aren't we? Whereas when we're ourselves, we can just do our best every single day, and then over time we really kind of grow into the person that we've always wanted to be. So
Mm,
thank you so, so much. I'm going to
thank
put
you.
all of Susie's links below in the description, so if any of you could really resonate with what Susie was saying, check out her links, get in touch, ask her a question and find out more, because she's quite an extraordinary woman, as I'm sure you can tell. So Susie, thank you so, so much
Thank
for
you.
your
It's been lovely.
gems. And thank you, everyone else, for watching.
Thanks.